Hey everybody, Derek Brown here, BEATBoX SAX with another Tuesday tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about the technique called growling. And this is a very common technique, especially with sax players who play with rock or fusion groups. You'd hear this a lot on these classic saxophone solos in rock bands from the 80s and 90s. It was used all the time, or sometimes guys would just growl the entire solo. Today it's not quite as frequent, maybe, but it's still a useful technique to have. I don't use this necessarily in all my BEATBoX sax playing, but I do when I play with a rock band or a fusion group occasionally, just to add a new, kind of another texture to the sound of the sax. The cool thing about the growling technique is it's actually pretty simple. There isn't a lot to explain about doing it. And some people pick it up immediately. They say, oh, singing into the horn, okay, boom. But then others kind of struggle with this because it's not a totally intuitive feeling activity to do. But basically what it is you sing into the horn while you play. Now the key is, if you only sing, if you put up your hand to your voice while you sing la 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 la, you don't feel much air at all coming through. And so the key is you have to both sing and project air through your mouth, because the reed has to get enough air passing through to start vibrating. Otherwise it sounds like this, ooh, which is kind of a cool thing, but that's another technique that we'll talk about. You just get your singing voice. So what you need to do is sing into the horn and then push some air through, and then those two things together kind of distorts that sound and gives it that almost electric guitar distortion sound. So kind of like this. If I'm playing a high C and I sing a lower note without the air, now with the air, and then without the singing in the background, you do that. So if that doesn't come natural to you, I would practice just putting your hand in front of your mouth. And first of all, notice, like I said, how singing la 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 doesn't shoot much air out onto your hand. So what I would do is I would close my mouth a little bit, so kind of that you have the embouchure size opening that you would for the sax. So sing a note, and then really with your diaphragm, so down here where we should be breathing air anyways, you really got to push from down there while you're singing, and with your aperture, the hole of your mouth being a little bit smaller, see if you can really get some air at the same time that you're singing. So, and you should feel some air going through. If not, really focus down here and get that air. You could also try doing the air first and then singing. But once you can do that, that's basically all you do on the sax. And really, you can sing any note to get that growl. The only thing is, if you sing the exact note that you're playing, which you might do accidentally, or sometimes I'll do that just because I'm hearing that note, and so I naturally try to sing that note. If you do that, it actually won't growl as much, but then you'll notice you can actually do some kind of cool things. The further you get away from it, it'll start to undulate a little bit more. It'll distort a little more frequently. So experiment with that. So once again, you're singing while blowing air through, and you get and you can do it through the whole range of the horn. And it's a lot of fun to do. It's kind of over the top, but it's a fun technique. So that's growling. A little bit shorter lesson today because it's a little bit more straightforward. So if you haven't learned growling, give it a try and have some fun with that. I'm Derek. Be sure to subscribe for more of these weekly tutorials, and I hopefully am planning on releasing some more music videos more frequently, so keep an eye out for those. And be sure to visit my website, derekbrownsax.com, for updates on my calendar, where I'll be performing, and other videos and music. Take care. See you next week.